Just a quick question. What are atomic orbitals? You study about atomic orbitals when you're in AS chemistry, and this is something that's extremely important. So these atomic orbitals are regions in space where there's a very high probability of finding an electron, and it's usually around the nucleus. Let me explain. So I'm going to pick the simplest atom, which is hydrogen. It's got just one proton, and it's got just one electron. Now, the proton is part of the nucleus, that's the center of the atom, and the electron is basically revolving or rotating or existing around this nucleus. So if you're doing IGCSE, this is the type of model that you're familiar with, nucleus and the electron revolving around that. But that is not exactly how the atom looks like. So don't think that this electron over here is basically revolving the nucleus around the nucleus like a planet. This is not how the electron is behaving. Let me tell you what the true picture looks like. So the true picture is the proton is pretty much still there. That's the center of the atom. But the electron, it's pretty hard to figure out what it's doing. So one simple way to figure this out is you can think of the electron as something that's like whizzing past or around the nucleus like a fly. But it's doing that so quickly that it appears that the electron is pretty much at every point around the nucleus. And imagine if that electron is whizzing past so quickly that it appears like a blurred area, and wherever you put your hand, wherever you're going to stand and try to observe the electron, it appears the electron is at every place in that particular region. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark a boundary, which is a rough boundary. It's not a fixed boundary. It's like a high probability area that this is the region in which there's a very high probability of finding the electron. So you can mark this area that's where all the negative charge of the electron is located. And outside that region, you can't really find the electron. You can't feel the electron. So you can say the electron is mostly existing in this area over here. And that high probability region, that's called your atomic orbital. And this is one shape of the atomic orbital. This is known as an s orbital. It's a spherical orbital. It's a spherical region around the nucleus where there's a high probability of finding the electron. So not only do you have an s orbital, you've got other types of orbitals as well, where you have a p orbital as well, where the electron is basically buzzing around in a dumbbell-shaped area around the nucleus on a certain axis. And that's your p orbital. So the electron is not existing everywhere. It's not buzzing around everywhere like in an s orbital, but instead the electron is buzzing in a specific two lobes around the nucleus, and that's your p orbital. You also have your d orbitals, where the electron is now existing in four lobes around the nucleus, buzzing around in these areas around the nucleus. And that four lobe or clover leaf shaped shape, that's known as your d orbital, and there are f orbitals as well. So we're going to stick and come back and summarize what are atomic orbitals. So they're basically regions in space where there's a very high probability of finding an electron.